Well, if you're watching this, you're on social media. And if you're on social media, there's something we need to talk about. Well, good morning, brothers and sisters, and Merry Christmas Eve. Welcome to Mission Zero. If this is your first time here, my name is Sean, and this is Battle Cry, the show where we give you a motivational theme that can carry you through a more positive week. Last week we talked a lot about joy, but this week maybe let's talk about the things that can hinder you getting to that joy. And specifically, I want to talk today about 6 ideas that we are all on the wrong side of. We're going to actually cover these in pairs, so it's really kind of 3 ideas, and the first idea is about communication, and particularly communication through social media. So the first point is that we seem to believe it's always okay to voice our opinion. But think about this for a second. If a person with a huge following goes into a restaurant and one waiter has had a bad day and is a little snotty to them, they can post a review that can essentially shut that place down. That's a power that we, I think, understate the value of. And it is really, really important that we voice our opinions from a constructive place. It's not just, oh, well, I don't like pictures that are blue, or I don't like impressionist paintings. Those are not helpful, right? Those are not things that build somebody up. Have the presence of mind as a person who is speaking to the world, which is what you're doing on social media, that you are speaking life into people. Now, by the same token, we seem to have this paper-thin skin that says it is not okay to challenge people. And that's just also wrong, right? As a filmmaker, if you don't tell me what I'm doing wrong, I can't grow. As an artist, if no one ever tells you, hey, you know, when you paint this one style of thing, it doesn't really match with the rest of your vibe. That's really important, right? It is critical that we be able to challenge each other because that is part of growth, that is part of building up. And so the balance here in communication is in the onus of the speaker to be sure that what they're saying is constructive and from a place of being helpful and being kind, but as a receiver, that you are listening from a place of not oversensitivity and not undersensitivity. You don't just take everything as a scathing condemnation of you as a person, but you also don't dismiss everything as just the random opinions of a nobody. We've got to learn to communicate ideas and opinions and criticisms constructively. And that is so lost in social media. The second idea revolves around kind of a similar theme, right? There's the communication between people, but then there is the being of yourself, and maybe we'll say that as uniqueness. And so the first part of that is that we seem to think it is okay to just be us, and if you're offended by us, well, that's just too bad for you. That is so not the right outlook to have as a part of the human race. There is an onus on us to conform to a degree. That's what society is. A social structure is that we all sort of agree to these commonalities, and some of those commonalities, whether you like this or not, that we have settled on is that you need to be kind to each other. You need to take other people's thoughts and feelings and reactions into consideration. And I think that just doesn't happen enough. But by the same token, there is this pervasive thing on social media that seems to tell people it is not okay to be yourself. Instagram is a perfect example of this, right? We force everybody into these little molds of what's the right kind of photograph to post and what's the right kind of pose to have and what's the right thing that you're allowed to show. This is the one that I think YouTube has been attacking quite effectively for the last 6 to 8 months, right? We have movements everywhere like that of Brian Vlasic that is the all human struggle movement, right? This is a thing that we are trying to break through and say, stop trying to force people into this mold, this conformist mold that makes everybody look, act, and feel the same way, because we're not the same people. And we should celebrate that diversity because it is so important to the collective growth of humanity. That brings us nicely to the third topic, which is treatment of other people. Now, this is really tied in to the idea of kind of your uniqueness and your communication, but it's a little bit different. The first one that I want to attack is this belief that it's okay to hate people. The thing about that is that it is okay to hate what a person does. It is never okay to hate a person, because to hate a person is to devalue them and to say that they are worthless. All that ever does is make a problem worse. That is exactly how you generate mass murderers, okay? Let's be frank about that. That's how you build people that kill other people or people that kill themselves. It is never, ever, ever okay to hate another person regardless of what they do. The flip side of that, though, is that we seem to think it's not okay to love certain people. And that is also critically wrong. This one, I think, unfortunately, is aimed quite heavily at my Christian brothers and sisters. This idea that, no, God doesn't like those people, so I can't love them. I can't treat them with the same respect and the same kindness and generosity that I treat other people with. And this is something that is absolutely 100% unequivocally unacceptable. We as people need to recognize that we are one species, we are one body, and we need to love all of us. There's my closing arguments, Your Honor. These three ideas of the treatment of people and the treatment of ourselves and the treatment of communication that we so misuse and abuse in social media, and it's wrong. We are hurting each other, we are killing each other, we are causing, and I mean this quite literally, we are causing deaths, murders, suicides. And that is tragically wrong. It is horrifically our fault that we misuse these things, that we speak to people so disrespectfully, that we listen so sensitively or insensitively, that we love so little and hate so much, that we stifle who people want to be, and that we flaunt who we are so disrespectfully. We have got, boys and girls, brothers and sisters, to do better, to grow, to be more cohesive and united, to be a true community. And so that is my exhortation for us for this week. It's the theme, the Christmas theme, to think on and to measure in ourselves as we are making our posts this week and as we are talking to people and as we are having these interactions. Be more edifying, be more loving, and be more kind. And I hope that that sparks something in you that you can use to grow. I know that it speaks to me volumes, and may God pour out the blessings of that clarity and that growth and that kind of connectedness to each other. And I love you so much. Peace out.